So, last night, with it being the Scottish referendum vote, I decided I would stay up all night and see the results come in, as you do. I lasted until about 4 AM, which wasn't bad considering I'd worked the following day. I did have a half day in work today and managed to get through it just. I also made £300 last night spread betting the FTSE and backing the pound on the US and pound currency market, because as it became obvious that the outcome of the Scottish referendum was going to be a no vote, the FTSE went up and the pound also went up, and I just backed them and away we went and just watched the money clock up. It was great. I didn't know which side to support with the Scottish independence referendum, but I was leaning towards a yes vote. My natural position is obviously for independence, but Salmon wanted to jump straight out of the UK and jump straight into bed with the EU. Now, as we know, the EU is possibly the most undemocratic, unindependent, if there is such a word, organisation on the planet. Talk about out the frying pan into the fire. Anyway, Salmon's now resigned, so good fucking riddance. Also, if you see the whole establishment putting all of its weight behind anything, that is a huge red flag that you need to do the exact opposite. So when Cameron, Spitty Band and Pleb all went up there last Wednesday, well then you knew you really had to back the independence vote. I mean, have you seen such propaganda by the establishment? Every day we had a different scare story to the people who were undecided in Scotland, saying that, you know, all the banks are going to leave, everybody's going to leave, there's going to be nobody left, the sky will fall. It's just unbelievable. But it's a result for me because I'm £300 better off, which will nicely finance my trip to Bristol in November to have a few beers with my mates Robin and Dave. Now, let's get that 150 IQ brain into gear. Oh yes, did I tell you I have a 151 IQ? Oh yes, Unbelievable. So, what's been going on in the world whilst our media have been scaring the Scots shitless about independence? Did you see one of the most important articles we've had in a while? A CDC whistleblower has actually come out and admitted that they were aware of a link between the MMR vaccine and autism years ago, but they were told to cover the figures up. Figures vary, okay? But currently autism affects anywhere between 1 in 80 kids and 1 in 53. Kids that are affected with autism is due to be 1 in 2 by something stupid like the year 2030. It's astounding. And if it's proved that they've covered this up and they knowingly allowed the MMR vaccine to go on the market, knowing that it would potentially cause autism, could you imagine the outcry? But this is why I don't think they will ever admit to what whistleblower William Thompson has come out and said. It's us, the people, that are going to have to force this story out. William Thompson was basically told to cover up the results of MMR causing autism in kids. This could be the end of the billion-dollar vaccine scam if we collectively push this into the mainstream media. Now, ISIS. Not a day goes by when we aren't told to be shit scared of ISIS. There was another video recently criticising the UK foreign policy by Britain John Cantley, who's allegedly going to be the next to be beheaded. We hear that Congress have now allowed Obama to fund the so-called moderate rebels in Syria. Well, James Foley, the first beheading victim, was sold to ISIS by the so-called moderate rebels. These rebels that Obama is going to give $500 million worth of weapons to have also recently signed a non-aggression pact with ISIS. You see, these so-called moderate rebels are working with ISIS, proving the elephant in the room that Obama is arming ISIS whilst allegedly attacking ISIS. If we really wanted to rid the planet of ISIS, then we would have to create a coalition in the Middle East, including the likes of Iran, including Syria, including Russia. But this isn't going to happen because the plan is to use the threat of ISIS to end up bombing and overthrowing Assad. You see, when we start bombing in Syria and Assad fights back, Obama and Cameron will lie to us and say that Assad is funding ISIS and that we have to take out Assad to stop ISIS. Then we'll bomb Assad and then fucking God knows what happens. You can read Obama and Cameron like a book, and not a very good book. Certainly not Bravo 20 by Andy McNabb, which actually improves with every read. But just keep watching. Give the scenario with ISIS a few more months and we will be attacking Assad. Mark my words.